Hello Spooklets, welcome back to my channel, and if this is the first time you're seeing my face, welcome to my channel. If you love anything to do with the paranormal, did that come out right? If you love anything to do with the paranormal, then this is the place for you. Come on, hit subscribe, because I'd love to have you. Okay Spooklets, today we're going to be talking about imaginary friends, okay? I have some stories to read off BuzzFeed. I will link it in the description. If you want to go check it out yourself, this particular article here that I'm going to be reading to you. But I thought I'd do a video with this because some of these stories really creep me out. Now, I was with my mum the other night. I don't know how we got onto the conversation of imaginary friends. I really can't remember. But I used to have one, and my mum brought this up in conversation, and she was talking to my husband, Matt. And she said to him that she always found it really weird because we'd be on a walk or something and I'd either be a million miles in front or a million miles behind just talking away to this friend. The weird thing is, guys, I remember this imaginary friend. He is a little boy. I remember what he looks like. Now, an imaginary friend, you would think now that I'm older, if I can remember having one, I would know he was imaginary, but I can remember him. And I have said this before, but I have seen a little boy outside my bedroom as a child with his back to me. Whether it's the same boy, I don't know. It was dark, but there was a little boy on that landing. Same one, I don't know, but I do find it weird that when I look back and remember having an imaginary friend, I remember him. That's not normal, right? Anywho, I know I'm not the only person to have had an imaginary friend as a child. So yeah, I have a bunch of stories in front of me and I'm going to read them out. So yeah, the title of this BuzzFeed is Parents Are Sharing Stories About Their Child's Imaginary Friend and They Might Just Make a Chill Run Down Your Spine. Trust me, some of these definitely did that for me. So let's talk about number one, Mr. Nobody. His name was Mr. Nobody. He started as the person the kids would blame if one of them forgot to flush the toilet. And then his mythology evolved. For the record, all of this was conceived by 3 of my kids, who at the time were 6, 5, and 3 years old. Mr. Nobody has no eyes, no teeth, no tongue, and no nose. He doesn't wear pants and leaves the used toilet paper between his butt cheeks, so you can tell where he is by his smell. Now, when I read that bit, I thought that's just kid-like. Especially, I mean, she doesn't say whether her children are girls or boys. I have 2 boys, and this is the sort of thing. Toilet jokes are a boy thing. Some girls like toilet jokes. I'm not saying they don't, but, you know. But then as I continue to read on, it kind of, anyway. He doesn't wear a shirt, but has a pocket cut into his skin where he keeps the key to our house. He can be invisible. He's had a beard since he was a baby. He bites off his fingernails and then drips blood where he walks. Thankfully, been a few years since Mr. Nobody has been in our house. So yeah, like I said, the first bit kind of made me chuckle because kids and toilet jokes and everything. But yeah, reading on about a pocket cut into his skin where he keeps the key to that house. These children are 6, 5, and 3 years old. Unless the parents let them watch stuff on telly and that's where they're getting this sort of imagination from, which I doubt, then yeah, that is a weird thing for a child to come out with. Biting his fingernails off and then drips blood where he walks. Again, it's not something the ages of 6, 5, and 3 years old would come out with. I don't think. I mean, mine didn't. I mean, my children are 13 and 8 now. 14 and 9 this year. Yeah, that... I could imagine that really creeping the parents out. I'm not going to lie. What do you think to Mr. Nobody? Let me know in the comments. But we're going to move on to number 2 now. Okay, number 2 is called Ghosty Pals. During childbirth, I had complications. I almost died, and my daughter actually did. They revived her, and we have been happy and healthy since. But since she was an infant/toddler, she's always looked around like she's watching something and just giggling at it. Fast forward to the age of 4 and she told me about her first imaginary friend, Ghosty. All of her imaginary friends are ghosts. To this day, she still talks to them at the age of 7. Unsure if they are real or not, but I'm always sure to be kind to my daughter's ghost friends and invite them along with us. Keep doing what you're doing, Mum. Be nice, because you just never know. That's creepy. Anyway, number 3. Okay, so number 3 is called Barsie, Barsie. Hope I'm saying it right. My eldest son, now 20 years old, had an imaginary friend called Barsie. It was a giant wolf but could transform into a boy. Sirius Black, sorry. My wife and I didn't think much about it until we noticed that my son had broken a plastic butter knife and stabbed quite a few of his stuffed animals. He told us that Barsie had told him to do it and had even helped. That was when we really got concerned. We took him to get some counselling after an incident involving a lighter that he found on the ground outside of our apartment. He had tried to burn his baby brother's favourite toy. While in counselling, it came to light that Barsie was planning to eat our family and to pee our blood all over the apartment. This was the beginning of my son's counselling and Miles' medications. Barsie disappeared over a few months and we were able to take my son off his medication the following year. He remained in counselling for quite a few years, but Barsie was never mentioned again. Okay, so it doesn't say how old he was when he had this imaginary friend. But again, the things that as a child he came out with isn't a normal thing for a child to come out with. It doesn't say how old he was. No. A giant wolf but could transform into a boy. Okay, that was a really gross story. Really, really gross. Number 4, here we come. Okay, number 4 is titled Bob. My daughter started saying Bob before she learned how to say Mama or Dada. She would say it all the time at random times. One time, I was in the nursery rocking her to sleep when she said it, and so I asked, "Who's Bob?" She pointed up at the corner of the ceiling behind me. Okay, that is so creepy. It was a really short one, but that really creeped me out. Who's Bob? She pointed up at the corner of the ceiling behind me. That is so creepy. So I'm going to tell you a story about my youngest. So obviously, like I said, there is a boy within my home. He doesn't haunt this house, he follows me. It's believed that maybe he was my twin. I was meant to be a twin, but he is extremely attached to me. And that's what people have said that I have seen and spoken to. Completely separate people have came out with the same sort of thing, so this is what we're guessing. But also it gets a bit creepy when he does things that he shouldn't be doing. Like, he shouldn't be creeping me out sometimes the way he is, so it does make me question, is he who he is making out he is? Anyway, I was in the garden with my youngest, and he was looking up at the windows upstairs. We were in the back garden. He was looking up at the windows. We have the bathroom window, the landing window, and also my youngest bedroom window. The bathroom window you can't see, it's obviously frosted glass, but the landing window and his bedroom window aren't. The curtains are open, no net curtains up. And he started running across the grass, looking up at the 2 windows of his bedroom and the landing window, and he kept ducking and giggling. And I said to Jamie, Jamie, my mate, what are you doing? He replied with, I'm playing hide and seek. With who, Jamie? It's just me and you here and we're in the garden. So that really creeped me out. And then I can remember another time he was playing upstairs. It wasn't long at all after this incident. He was upstairs playing and he shouted down, "Mummy, come play with us." No, thank you, mate. And I'd really appreciate it if you came and played down here. Anyway, we'll move on to number 5 now, a watchful companion. Our youngest daughter asked us to keep our bedroom door open because her imaginary friend couldn't open doors. We laughed it off and figured she was just afraid and wanted to be able to see us or know we were home if she woke up in the middle of the night. The next day, I casually asked what her friend did at night, and she said she liked to stand at the end of our bed and watch us sleep. We asked how often she speaks with her, and she said she really only likes to talk and come out at night. We asked her to draw a picture of her friend, and the drawing showed really sharp teeth and a lump on her head. We eventually moved, good call, and her friend didn't come with us. but our daughter said she'd probably find us. That was 8 years ago, and we haven't heard about her since we moved. I'm hoping she's lost. Me too, my friend. Okay, that is really, really creepy. That's so creepy. She liked to stand at the end of our bed and watch us sleep. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Okay guys, number 6, I seem to have completely missed when I saw this, but number 6 is called Willow Rose, so I haven't actually read this one. My stepbrother had an imaginary friend named Willow Rose. One night, my mum found the dog dead outside. Oh. Okay, my stepbrother admitted to killing the dog because Willow Rose told him to do it. What? That's gross. The next day he disappeared. Mum told me he went to go live with Grandma for a while. I am 21 years old now and I haven't seen him since. My stepbrother once told me what Willow Rose looked like before he got sent away. Apparently, she was a 14-year-old girl who died in 1904. She had no eyes but wore glasses, had paper white skin and wore a ruffled pink dress with olive green stockings. I didn't see that one before. That is a really disturbing story. I am a bit sort of took back by that one. Let's move on. Okay, number 7, quick glances. In the past, I've seen things out of the corner of my eye, then glanced to see nothing there. Of course, I figured that's just my eyes being weird and stopped paying attention to those things. Well, my daughter is currently a toddler, and I recently had her sitting in my lap while I was reading a book. I saw something in the corner of my eye as usual, and my daughter quickly looked over. She then stared wide-eyed at nothing and watched it cross through the room. Since then, it's happened 2 more times. She's not at the point where she can communicate what she's looking at, but she's getting there. If it happens again, I plan to ask her what she's seeing. Okay, if not that you will be, but if you are, if there's a chance the person that wrote this is watching this video, let me know. I don't even know when this article from BuzzFeed is from, but you need to let me know if things have elaborated from there, because that is just creepy and I'm finding it very, very interesting. Okay, we're going to move on to number 8. I cannot pronounce this. Caricare? Sorry. Caricare. Like I said, I will link this article in the description of the video so you can go check it out yourself. We were walking home from a neighbour's house when we walked past a drain hole cover. My son stopped and looked down at the rainwater and said, "There's a little boy drowning down there. His name is Caricare." The name was a combination between 2 Norwegian names. Carrie, which is a female name, and Care is a male name, if I'm saying it right. My son is only 3 years old and we don't know anyone by these names, and I certainly didn't think he knew what drowning meant. Not at the age of 3, you wouldn't. He usually doesn't speak about it anymore, but sometimes he wakes up at night and just points to his baby Bjorn, his baby, I'm so sorry, and says, "Caricare, don't want to sleep." Oh, that is creepy. That is creepy. So it was a drain hole cover, looked down and said there's a little boy drowning there. His name is Caricare. That is actually a really weird sentence to come out of a 3-year-old's mouth. Kids can be creepy. I have kids, I know they can. Number 9 is Samantha and Monstressed. When my daughter was 4 years old, she had 2 friends when we lived in a rental house. One was named Samantha. Samantha would insist on staying in my daughter's room most of the time. Then my daughter would say that Samantha had to go to bed, and we asked where her bed was. She leaves the house when it gets dark and goes out the back door to sleep under the grass. We opted not to investigate further. Okay, so Samantha sleeps outside under the grass. I would get your garden dug up. Okay, so the other was a man that she called Monstressed, or something close to that. He was very nice according to her and had long black hair and wore tan pants and funny shoes with no shirt. She said he was usually covered in blue and white and would come walk around the house and the yard, hang around and listen to music if we had some on, and would stand in the front yard until morning. We've since moved out the house and she has not uttered one thing about either friend visiting. Oh, that's so creepy. So you've got a girl called Samantha that sleeps under the grass in the back garden, and a man, long black hair, tan pants and funny shoes with no shirt, covered in blue and white, would walk around the house and the yard, hang around. So I wonder if this, right, okay, so if these are spirits, I wonder if this Monstressed, I wonder if he maybe killed the girl, because I'm sorry, but if there's a girl called Samantha sleeping under the grass in the backyard, that's saying dead body, right? Right. And then you've got him, Monstressed, that seems to be lurking. Did he kill her? Have we got some... Am I onto something here? Okay, number 10, Grammy. I heard my 3-year-old son talking up a storm in his room, pausing as if he was listening to another person answer him. No one was with him, so I asked who he was talking to, and he said, Grammy, she came for a visit. Grammy was my husband's grandmother who died in our house 3 years before our son was born. We figured she just wanted to spend some time with him. She stayed around for a couple of months, then he never saw her again. Oh, that's a really... Oh. That's kind of one of them like sad... Do you know what? You know when your kettle randomly clicks? It's just happened and literally every hair just stood on the back on its end then. I'm creeping myself out. Let's move on to number 11. Okay, number 11 is Halls. My friend's son had an imaginary friend named Halls, and he was the cause of several injuries to that kid. He would come up to his dad and ask for a bandage. His dad would ask what happened, and he would talk about how his imaginary friend hurt him. After a year of them closely watching him, one day it just stopped. Halls never came back. Okay, so no, let me just go through that again. So some kid has a friend called Halls, and Halls hurt the kid. Okay, that's really creepy. That is really creepy. So they do say that demons can be in a form of a child. I'm guessing because they're sweet and innocent. Children are sweet and innocent. So obviously if demons come in a form of that, then they're not going to be questioned that much. But you all do it. All these demons do it. We've caught you out now. You're going to have to find something else to do now. No, don't, because we won't know. Ignore me. Number 12 is called Jimmy. I don't remember anything about my friend other than his name. His name was Jimmy and he supposedly was a demon. Oh. My mum tells me that I would have full conversations with my window frame, assuming that's where he would stay, and only stop talking when she noticed. She says she'd asked me where Jimmy came from, and I told her he died and came back from the ground. She never asked about him again, and I don't remember him at all. Oh, Jimmy's creepy. It must be weird. Like I said, I remember having an imaginary friend, but I don't remember him being an imaginary friend. Like, he was a friend, but he wasn't imaginary. I remember him, but nobody else saw him, so he is classed as an imaginary friend. Creepy. Okay, number 13. Alright. Ushi or Ushi. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. So this is a short one. Apparently when I was 3 years old, I had an imaginary friend named Ushi. Cow in my native language. That's still not helping me. It's Ushi or Ushi. He told me to go for a walk at 1 in the morning, try and flood the house, etc. I don't remember any of this, but it's kind of creepy. You're not wrong. Okay, number 14, and this is the last one. Arlo. My 3-year-old started talking about her friend Arlo, telling us stuff she did that was funny. We assumed she was talking about a friend of hers from school and made up stories about them playing together, but we came to find out that there was no Arlo at her school. Around this time it got warmer outside and a new ice cream man started coming around. Our daughter wanted to know why he played music, and we obviously didn't want to listen to her beg for ice cream 6 times a day all summer long, so we told her that he's just the music man and comes by to play music. This was right when lockdown was in full effect and there wasn't much to do. She hadn't hung out with many other kids in the past couple of weeks. One day she heard the ice cream man and excitedly told us he's not a music man, he's an ice cream man who sells ice cream. She said, "Arlo told me that you lied and said he was a music man, Dad." We asked where Arlo lived and she told us she lived in her closet. Oh, wow, that is so creepy. So creepy. I don't know about you guys, but these stories really creep me out. Like I said, I found these. I did read through some of them, but some of them were a complete, especially that Willow Rose. Some of these I just skimmed through and quite enjoyed. I thought this would make a good video and talk to you guys about it. But yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think to these imaginary friends in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Did you have an imaginary friend as a child? Feel free to share your story and then people can have a read too in the comments, which is nice. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it helps more than you know. And I will speak to you all in my next video, but until then, sleep tight.